Historians say 1500 BCE, astronomers say 6000 BCE, and one Sanskrit verse might prove them both wrong. Today we find out how old the Vedas actually are and why the answer terrifies modern academia. Think about this for a moment. If the Vedas were 3500 years old, they are impressive. But if they are 8000 years old, India had living civilization before Egypt built its first pyramid, before Greece had its first philosopher, before Mesopotamia wrote its first law. This is not a small question. This question rewrites world history. In 1849, a German scholar named Max Müller tried to date the Vedas. His method was simple. He counted backwards from the Buddha and arrived at 1500 BC. That date went into every Western textbook. It became the official answer. But here is what most people don't know. Müller himself later admitted there was no scientific evidence for this date. He chose it because it fit the biblical timeline, not because the Vedas told him so. So what does the actual evidence say? The Vedas contain precise description of star position in the night sky, positions we can verify today using modern astronomical software. Rigveda describes the Pleiades aligning with the spring equinox. When astronomers calculated when this last happened, the answer was 4500 BC. And the Rigveda describes it as a current event, not ancient history, present tense. Whoever wrote those words was standing outside watching that exact sky in 4500 BC. Then there is a Saraswati river. The Rigveda mentions it more than 50 times. It calls it the best of all river, mighty, vast, flowing to the sea. For centuries, Western historians dismissed this as a mythology. The river didn't exist. Then NASA and ISRO satellite found a massive dry riverbed in Rajasthan, exactly where Rigveda said Saraswati would be. Geological dating showed the river dried up around 2000 BCE. If the Rigveda describes it as a living river, it had to be written before 2000 BCE at minimum. This is not mythology, this is geology. So what does all of this mean? If the Vedas are 6000 to 8000 years old, India was teaching philosophy while the rest of the world was still learning to form. The concept of Brahman, the ultimate reality, was being discussed before the wheel was invented anywhere else on the earth. I want to be clear, this is not about pride, this is not nationalism, this is simply history. The oldest continuous knowledge system on earth began in India and it is still alive today. The Nasadiya Sukta opens with these words, then even nothingness was not, nor existence. A civilization that asked that question 6000 years ago was not primitive, it was ahead of us. The Vedas are not old, we are. Do you think the Vedas are older than we have been told? Tell me in the comment, and if this is the kind of content you want every week, subscribe.